Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf. Today we're going to be going through my favourite hand creams and how to stop your hands from becoming really chapped and irritated as we're washing our hands constantly in antibacterial soap and using lots of hand sanitizer gels. So, before we get straight into it, please make sure you have liked, you have subscribed, and you've hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. I am doing a few sneaky uploads recently, so please make sure you have hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of those. And I'm also on Instagram if you want to follow me on there. It's at Pampered Wolf, all lowercase, no spaces. Okay, so it's obviously really important at the moment that we're washing our hands constantly, but washing our hands constantly can create certain problems. Now, if you look at the skin cells as bricks and the lipid barrier as the cement that holds those bricks together, when we wash our hands constantly throughout the day, the lipid barrier is broken down, meaning the cement is basically not there anymore, which creates a lot of problems for the skin. It becomes dry, it becomes irritated, it can become very cracked and very painful in certain areas, especially if you have your rings on and then the water gets trapped underneath the ring as well as the soap getting trapped underneath the ring, just causing more irritation. And by the way, I haven't been wearing my wedding rings recently because obviously I am constantly washing my hands and I'm constantly applying cream afterwards, not just because I'm trying out lots of creams for everybody, just because it's probably the right thing to do to replenish the moisture in my skin. There is nothing wrong with my marriage, but thank you very much for those of you who have asked. Really kind of you and nice of you to notice. But I don't have rings on at the moment and it's for a good reason. I don't want to create any more irritation than necessary on my skin, so I've just not been wearing them. So we do have to replenish and repair the lipid barrier on our skin. And by applying creams to the skin after we've washed our hands, especially really emollient creams, we're really helping to repair that lipid barrier a lot faster, meaning that we have much softer and much more nourished hands and less cracks and less irritation. Now, I always apply my cream straight after I've washed my hands. I dry my hands slightly, leave my hands slightly damp, and then lock in that moisture with a really emollient cream. So although I really don't like perfume products, sometimes I do enjoy a perfumed hand cream. I definitely wouldn't advise that you use anything with any sort of scent or perfume in if you have dry, irritated or cracked hands to begin with. Using a perfumed product will do some good, but it may cause irritation along the way. So I don't recommend it, but I am going to give you both options in this video, whether you want an unperfumed, unscented product or whether you want one with a scent in. I'm also going to give you options for both budgets. So if you have very little to spend, if you don't want to spend a lot on a hand cream, there will be an option for you. And if you want to spend a little bit more on a product, it doesn't mean it's going to be any better, but if you want to spend that little bit more, there will also be an option for you as well. Okay, so my first recommendation is buying yourself a pair of really affordable cotton gloves. By doing that, you can apply a really emollient product to your hands, which will remain really tacky and sticky and greasy on your hands, but then you pop a little pair of cotton gloves over the top, which means that you can still get on with your day-to-day activities without having to feel greasy and icky throughout the day. Now, Vaseline is a really affordable product. You can get this from any drugstore, any pharmacy. It's not enriched with loads of nourishing ingredients, and I definitely wouldn't recommend that you put this on your face at all, but for your hands, this can be the best thing ever. So smother your hands in this, apply a pair of cotton gloves because this can be seriously greasy and not very nice to touch, and then sit for a couple of hours and then take that off. In a perfect world, you would have them on overnight so that when you woke up, you could remove the cotton gloves and your hands would be so much smoother and so much more enriched and replenished. Once you've taken that off, you can apply a normal hand cream that might be a little bit nicer to feel with a non-greasy touch. But if you can use this overnight, I highly recommend it. You will see the world of difference in your hands when you wake up in the morning. Really affordable affordable way of looking after your hands. My second recommendation is for anybody that wants an unscented product that doesn't leave a greasy feel on the surface of the skin, but is still really emollient, so is going to enrich the hands with lots of lovely ingredients, but also stop that transepidermal water loss. That is the Kiehls Working Hands Hand Cream. This is a great one if you are really busy throughout the day, if you have loads of tasks to fulfill, but you still want to look after your hands and you really don't want that greasy feel. It's a really nice cream. You need very, very little. I probably pop about a pea-sized amount on my hands and then just rub that all over. It's a really thick consistency, but it sinks in very, very fast, making sure I get all of my hands, including all the nooks and crannies. And it doesn't leave that greasy feel. In fact, it's got a bit of a powdery texture on the surface of the skin once it's fully dried down. So it doesn't feel like it's super hydrating on the skin, which a lot of people aren't going to like. This is still going to do the job that is required. It just doesn't feel like it's doing that because it doesn't have that greasiness to the surface of the skin. I really like it. It's a great, great cream. Some really great ingredients in there, and it's also hypoallergenic. My second recommendation is for anybody who, again, doesn't want any fragrance in their product. This is also really suitable for anybody with itchy, irritated skin. Also, if you suffer from eczema, this is also suitable for you. This is fragrance-free, paraben-free, and it's also dermatologically tested, and it gives you up to 24 hours worth of moisture. This is fantastic, and this is the Palmer's Cocoa Butter Formula with Vitamin E Intensive Relief Hand Cream. Now, this, again, you need probably a pea-sized amount. It's slightly thicker in consistency. It's a really emollient cream, and you need very, very little. This is for anybody that wants to feel like their hands have been moisturized. So although this doesn't really leave a very greasy texture to the surface of the skin, this will sink in. It does feel heavier than the Kiehls Working Hands cream. You definitely need to let this settle in for about 5 minutes after you've applied it to the hands, but it does feel like it's doing some good, which I like to feel like the product that I've just applied is working. So although I know that this is working, this is doing me some good, I prefer to be able to feel that it's actually doing me some good as well. So I actually really like this. And because this has cocoa butter in here, this does smell of cocoa butter. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not got any fragrance in it. It's not got any citrus oils or flower oils in there that are going to irritate your skin. It's just got cocoa butter in there. I really, really like this, and it's soaked into my skin already. Definitely doesn't feel greasy, but there is a slight heaviness to this, which I really like because my skin and my hands feel super, super nourished and soft. Now, I don't have my fourth recommendation. I think I said that the cocoa butter was my second recommendation. It was actually my third. I don't seem to be able to count at the moment. Anyway, my fourth recommendation I don't have in front of me. I have tried this cream out before. It is absolutely phenomenal, but it is sold out absolutely everywhere. And this is for anybody whose budget can take them a little bit further. That does not mean that this cream is any better than these two or the Vaseline. It isn't, but if you're wanting something a little bit more luxurious, then I do recommend the Kiehls Ultimate Strength Hand Salve. Now, this is an amazing product. Again, it does have that really enriched feeling on the surface of the skin. Can be quite greasy if you apply a little bit too much, but it is a really nice product. But again, quite pricey for what you're actually getting. Now, although the Kiehls Ultimate Strength Hand Salve doesn't have any fragrance in there, it does have eucalyptus oil. And although eucalyptus oil can be seen as having some antibacterial value, I do feel like in this instance, it's only really been put in the product to add a little bit of fragrance for your pleasure. So just bear that in mind. If you don't want any fragrance or anything irritating on your hands at the moment, then this one might not be for you. And the last recommendation in this video, and this is for anybody that really does like to have a fragrance in their hand creams, like my mum. My mum absolutely loves a really beautifully smelling hand cream. She's not really bothered about the irritating value of that fragrance. She just loves the luxuriousness of the fragrance in the hand cream, and that is absolutely fine if your skin can tolerate it. So my next and my last recommendation is from L'Occitane. Now L'Occitane do some amazing hand creams. They are beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and if I wasn't washing my hands constantly at the moment, I would probably be using these myself. It's just because they have fragrance in here, and they have a lot of it, that I'm steering clear. My favorite one though, and the one that I think smells absolutely divine, is their Cherry Blossom scent. Now I bought these in a little mini pack from Debenhams. I think I bought it way before lockdown, and they are stunning. Really, really beautiful. They are quite pricey, and I will list everything and link it all in the description box below, but they are definitely luxurious. So the Cherry Blossom is just, oh, it's just divine, and I am going to put some on, even though, you know, I shouldn't, but I do have 2 other things on my hands at the moment to protect them. This is a much looser formula. It's much more like a cream. It's much less emollient than the other 3 that I've already, the other 4 rather, that I've already recommended. Told you I can't really count today. Smells absolutely divine. Really, really beautiful. It is really heavily scented. There's fragrance in here as well as citrus and flower oils. So you've got a double whammy of fragrance in here. But it is really nice. It is very hydrating. They do feel slightly greasy on the skin, and your skin does have that slip to it. And it does stay there for quite a while. So if you're not into that greasy sort of hand cream, then these may not be for you. But after around about 5-10 minutes, that greasiness does go away if you haven't really over applied the cream. The fragrance does linger for quite a long time. So if you're after that, then give these ones a try. I really like them. They are very, very luxurious. But again, I'm not into creams with fragrance in at the moment. Usually I would really like hand cream with a fragrance, and if we were in usual circumstances, I think the Cherry Blossom one would be the one that I went for. So they are my recommendations. The most affordable one is the Vaseline option. Just smother your hands in Vaseline before you go to bed. Add some cotton gloves over the top. Sleep with them on for as long as you can bear, and then take them off. Your hands will definitely thank you the morning after, and it's a really affordable way of really looking after your hands and making sure that you don't get any of that transepidermal water loss. There are loads of different brands that do absolutely fantastic hand creams. It doesn't actually have to be a hand cream. It can be a regular moisturizer that you pop on your hands afterwards, but the more emollient, the better, because it will lock in that moisture and stop any transepidermal water loss from happening throughout the day. So I'm definitely not suggesting that you need to go out and buy one of my 5 recommendations. Any hand cream is better than no hand cream at all. So every time you wash your hands, just have a little pot of hand cream on the side so that you can just apply a little bit of hand cream after you've washed your hands. I really hope you found this video helpful. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Please make sure you have liked, you have subscribed, you've hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads, and you're following me on Instagram as well. It's @PamperedWolf, all lowercase, no spaces. Hope to see you all in the next one. Bye.